Hey everyone, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com. I hope you're having a fantastic day and a fantastic week. I want to talk to you about DAWs, digital audio workstations, specifically which is the right DAW for you and your home studio. Now, I'm going to be talking to two types of people in this video, and both people should listen to the whole video. But number one, I'm going to be talking to brand new audio engineers. So you have just gotten into home recording and you have no idea which piece of software to be using as the centerpiece of your studio. And then number two, all of you home studio owners who already have been recording and mixing, you already have a DAW, and you're thinking about switching to something else. I know you are. I know you're on the internet and you're just looking up another piece of software to jump to. And I have some words of wisdom for you there as well, because I've been there as well. Okay, number one, you're brand new to recording. You see, oh, there's all sorts of pieces of software that I could be using to record or mix. How do we choose? Well, there's Pro Tools, there's Logic, there's Cubase, Nuendo, GarageBand, Reaper, Digital Performer, Harrison Mix Bus, Adobe Audition, Ableton Live, Studio One, Sonar, and all the other cakewalk iterations, Reason, and the time of a period when it was called Record for a while. There are a ton of pieces of software to choose from, and they're all viable solutions, and every single advertisement seems to say it is the best piece of software on the planet, and there are people to back that up on all spectrums and every single website you can imagine, right here on YouTube even. So how do you pick one? Well, I'll give you two reasons to pick a certain piece of software. Number one, stick with the piece of software that came with your audio interface. Okay, so you hopefully have an audio interface. That's probably one of the most important parts of the 5 key home studio components. I did a video on that. You should watch it because it will walk you through everything you need for your home studio, at least the most important ones. And I would almost submit to you that the audio interface is more important than the software because it is the box that either limits you or expands your horizons. It's the audio that goes in, converts to digital. It's your hub. And many of those boxes already come with a piece of software, usually a light version or a stripped down or simplified version of a full-fledged piece of software. So if you already have an interface, you probably already have some software to get started. You should start using that. In fact, many of you, if you're a singer-songwriter doing demos or doing basic recordings of guitar, vocal, a couple of parts, that would be all you need to make great sounding recordings, believe it or not. If you get to the point where you feel like you have reached the limitations of your light software, they want you to upgrade. They want you to follow the upgrade path. That's the whole point of packing it in for free. They take a loss on the front so that they hope you would then become a full-fledged customer. Not a bad move to do that because you're probably already familiar with the software. And I would submit to you that all of these DAWs are viable solutions and options for you. So you're not missing out by not having a certain piece of software. So it's great to start with and stick with what you already have and what you're used to. If you don't want to go that route, the only other thing I would suggest is if you have a friend who already is into home recording and he or she already has a full-fledged piece of software and they've been using it for a while and they seem to like it, go with what they have. The only reason I would say to do this is because you now have a resource to pull from, okay? If your buddy is big into using Reason and he's been recording in that for a while and he seems to like it, you should get Reason because then you can tap that dude anytime you have a question, you get stuck. You say, I don't know how to do this. You call him up, you have him over, he can show you. You have unlimited access to someone who's already steps ahead of you. And that's where most people get tripped up. They think their piece of software isn't good enough because they actually are just ignorant, not stupid. There's a difference. Ignorance just means you aren't aware of something, right? Like I'm ignorant on how to fix an automobile or a car. I'm not stupid. I just don't know anything about cars until someone teaches me. But many people are ignorant of what their software is capable of, and so they just say, this software is a piece of junk. I need something else. When all they really need is someone to show them how to do that in their software. And then the light bulb goes off and they're good to go. That's why I have a whole product teaching people how to use Pro Tools, because that's what I know best, and I understand if I help them unlock Pro Tools, they will be happier and they can move on to actually making music. So you got a buddy who has the same software you have. You can finally get to that point of like expertise in your piece of software because you can ask question after question after question. You will be happier and you'll get more out of your software. So either stick with what your interface came with and follow that upgrade path, or go with what one of your close friends has, okay? Now, number two, the people that already have a DAW, you've already been recording, you've already been working in it, you're just becoming tempted to switch to something else. This is normal. Why is this normal? Well, because there are millions, if not billions of dollars out there marketing to you and to me that there is another piece of software that you need to realize your musical dreams. Now, it's a half-truth. Every magazine ad you see or every website you see promoting a new DAW or new DAW upgrade, they're not lying to you that their software is awesome. I would submit to you that all of these major DAWs are awesome. So they are telling you the truth in that their software can let you do amazing things and you can make pro recordings on it. I don't disagree with that at all. I own a lot of these pieces of software and they all work great. The half-truth, really the half that's not the truth, so the lie is that you need to switch their software to get those results. Right now, you're probably on YouTube and you're looking for that review or that person or that article or that whatever that will convince you to finally do what you really want to do in your heart anyway, which is switch, because you just want to buy something new. You want something fresh, you want something new because you think that's going to help you have that spark. You're finally going to be able to make great music. And I'm here to tell you what you don't want to hear, which is that it's just a waste of your time and money. And the best thing you could possibly do is stick with what you already have for two reasons. Number one, you probably already know it better than that new piece of software. It's a guaranteed. I don't care how easy that new piece of software is. You're already familiar with the keyboard shortcuts, the layout of your DAW, the quirks of your DAW, and the way your DAW works. You jump to something else, it's only going to slow you down from making great music. Yeah, you can get a book. Yeah, you can get a tutorial that will help you, and I'm an advocate of getting education. I sell education and give education away. I'm an educator, but it only slows you down if you can already do that with your current DAW. So jumping to a new DAW is only going to slow you down, and your current DAW can already do everything you need it to do. You just probably don't know it yet. So maybe invest in some education on your current DAW to take you even further from where you are. Now, the problem comes when you see other DAWs have a certain feature. Oh, this DAW does X, Y, Z. And then you look at your DAW and maybe you are a seasoned vet on your DAW and you realize, my DAW can't do that. I'll give you plenty of examples. I'm a Pro Tools guy. I have used Pro Tools for over a decade. There have been many features that Pro Tools pioneered that other DAWs only copy. Many people said, oh, I got to have Pro Tools because it has beat detective, it has elastic time. It had a lot of these features before any DAW really had that because Pro Tools had just been around for so long. And things like beat detective were around like 15 years ago. And they were kind of light years ahead of any other piece of software. And they gave you a lot of power. And so a lot of studios used it. But many of those people who said they needed to switch to Pro Tools because of something like beat detective, they should have just stuck with what they had because now every DAW can slice up and tab the transient and do all sorts of beat detective-like things. It's just called something else, but it does the same thing inherently. You wait long enough, you get the feature you need. The flip is true for Pro Tools users. Many Pro Tools users were fed up that they didn't have automatic delay compensation. They didn't have bounce to disk in non-real time. They didn't have whatever, all these big common features these days. Well, guess what? We have those now. They came in Pro Tools 9, they came in Pro Tools 11, and many other things. If you wait around long enough, your DAW is going to have just about every other feature that every other DAW has. It's the nature of capitalism. They all have a great product to sell, and the only way they can stay in business is if they offer a better product or as good of a product. So they are going to look at the landscape of other DAWs and notice what their DAW does not have and try to implement something like that in their DAW. You just wait around long enough and you'll have that feature. Now think about this for a second before we go. If we really believe that our DAWs, our digital audio workstations, our recording mixing software, if we believed that they really were an analog console, because that is what they are doing. They are replacing a few things, but an analog console in your studio as well as a tape machine. They're replacing those two things. If we really acted like they were a console, or if they really were a console, we wouldn't be having these discussions about switching and I just want to switch. Analog consoles are expensive. Expensive to purchase, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Expensive to install, expensive to maintain, and expensive to learn because they're so complex and their wiring is weird and every console does things a little bit differently. So it would be a huge loss for a studio owner with a 64 channel or bigger console to say, I don't really like the way my console is doing things or sounds. I think I'll switch to something else. That'd be pretty foolish, right? Think about the type of consoles that are really popular even today. You have your Neves, you have your SSLs, you have your Tridents, your APIs, you've got all sorts of consoles to choose from. They all sound different. They all have their own quirks. They all have their own layout and design. They all have their own limitations. They all have their own wonderful, unique features about them. And you can go find users of all those consoles that love their consoles, swear by their consoles, and they're not going to change consoles. But there's so many great records that are made on all kinds of consoles all day long, every day, and have been for decades. And no one is saying, well, you have to do it on a Neve for it to sound pro, or it has to be on an SSL for it to sound legit. It's too expensive and foolish for a major studio owner to make a big decision like switching consoles over something so simple as, well, that console sounds different than mine, or I like the way those layouts of those buttons are. Well, maybe, but you've already invested in this console and it can do what you need it to do. Why don't you just accept the console that you have, embrace the great things about it, and then move on and go make music? But because we've got DAWs that cost pennies compared to what you would pay for a console, and we complain about how expensive some pieces of software are, which is ridiculous because they are fractions of the cost that you would be paying 20 years ago. We complain about them, and then we entertain the idea that we should switch to something else because it seems newer, better. I like this, I like that. That's a never-ending game, and all that does is get all of us people who hopefully have some talent and some great ideas to waste our time on the internet looking for a new piece of software to use. You will be happier, you will make better music if you just stick with the DAW that you have. There are very rare instances why you should switch. Every time I have bought another piece of software thinking, oh, I should switch to that, I always come back to Pro Tools because it's what I know. I'm efficient with it, I work well with it, and it allows me to do the things I need to do, which is make music. When I switch to something else, I'm slow in it. I'm always frustrated by the way it does something that's not the way Pro Tools does something. But it's not that it's bad, it's just that I like the way Pro Tools works because I know it so well. You would be that way on any piece of software. So I would submit to you, stick with what you have if you're a seasoned vet on your DAW. If you don't know everything about it, go look it up. Read a manual, watch some videos, and then get back to making music. Remember, your DAW is like a console. If it cost you $300,000 to buy it and lots more money to install it and maintain it, would you really just swap it out for something else, for something as silly as a new little feature, a cool little button, or it's newer and maybe has a better sound? You wouldn't. Simplify your life. Be happy. Go make some great music. Again, I'm Graham from therecordingrevolution.com. Subscribe to the videos if they help you. Go over to therecordingrevolution.com right now and download the free ebook, The #1 Rule of Home Recording. There's a whole big philosophy push there on the way I view gear and studio work that will simplify your life, save you money. That's the whole point. It's free. You can download it right now and get to work. I care about you making music. That's why I do videos like this. And I'm not trying to lead you astray. I've been there. I have wasted money, and I wish I could go back. So I'm trying to teach you guys. Take care, make great music. We'll talk to you soon.